everybody, this is Mike Mote, and I'm inviting you to join us as we take a look at the Outlook app on the iOS device. A lot of folks are switching to this from the regular Mail native app. Some companies are requiring it for security purposes. You can use it, it's accessible, and we'll break down the basics of using the Outlook app. Hope you'll join us for this webinar. Hopefully you'll be able to learn something right along with us. And don't forget, you can reach out to myself or Israel at our YouTube channel by simply sending us an email. Our address is athotcorner@gmail.com. Once again, athotcorner@gmail.com. I look forward to talking with you soon, and I hope you'll join us for our Outlook app exploration using an iOS device. Have a great day, everybody. So I want to say hello, everybody. This training exercise is for the Outlook app on the iOS device. Some of us have been moved to this by our IT department, and this is a great opportunity to kind of show you some of the basics of Outlook. I am Mike Mote. I am our manager of accessibility and workforce development here at our IT department here at IFB Solutions. Really excited to be doing this training. And so what we're going to do is those of us who are here in the live training, you guys can ask questions. I will stop several times throughout the training and we will go over anything you have questions about. I'm going to show you the basics of the Outlook app. We will also talk about reading emails, sending emails, replying to emails, forwarding emails, all that you would like to know. We'll even look at the calendar and show you some neat things about that. So these are some basic things you can do with the Outlook app. And we're going to start by opening it with the smartphone. And you'll be able to hear my voiceover on my phone. And I will try my best to be quiet while the voiceover is talking. So I'm going to double tap on Outlook to launch the app.
Outlook, menu, modeLSIF.com, Office 365, button.
So as you hear at the very beginning, if we land on the very top left-hand side of the screen on the very first option, which is the menu. And I'm going to just go in here and show you around for those who have not been too familiarized with the Outlook app. So we're just going to double tap this button here.
Selected, modeLSIF.com, unread messages, button. Selected,
so it tells me,
unread messages.
It tells me that my account is indeed selected. Now, if I swipe to the right,
add an existing email account, button.
It says add an existing email account, which means I could simply double tap this button and add an account.
Add a new email account, button.
Add a new email account, same type of thing.
Play my emails, button.
Play my emails. Now, this is something that is a neat little feature. If you're by yourself or in your office by yourself, you can actually configure Outlook to play your messages to you using Cortana. You can do that. We won't go too far into this. I want to just keep this pretty basic. If we have time, we may circle back and take a look at that, but it's pretty neat.
Help and feedback.
Help and feedback.
Settings, button.
Settings. Now, this is where you make some adjustments, and we will visit this part of the app a little later.
Office 365. Do not disturb disabled. Set do not disturb settings. Button. modeLSIF.com.
Just going through some of these choices here, and I'm just continuing to swipe right on the screen to show you what's here.
Favorites.
Favorites.
Edit favorites. Button. Selected. Inbox. 40. Clutter. Button.
Right here, I've gotten to the list of all of my emails. And of course, mine is selected to the inbox, but I have a clutter box. I have a lot of different folders.
Sent.
Here.
Button. Deleted. Button. Folders. Heading. Inbox. 44 unread messages.
So you
button.
see where I have some of these.
FSA. Button. IFB. Button.
So I could simply just go into these folders here. I could double tap on any of these folders and go in there and see messages that I have moved to these folders. So that's what this looks like. I'm going to tap on the bottom right-hand corner of my screen.
Close. Button.
I'm going to click the close button. I'm going to go back out.
Menu. modeLSIF.com. Office 365. Button.
Now I'm going to stop here and ask if anybody has any questions about that particular section. Now, again, as I said, we'll go back to the settings a little later because there are some things I do want to show you.
Seems good.
Okay. So we're going to just go to the right here, and I'm going to show you some email, and I'm just going to talk about how we would interact with emails that have been sent to us first. So that's the first order of business.
Inbox. Heading.
So we are in our inbox is highlighted.
Compose. Button.
There is the compose, and we'll do that here in a bit.
Focused inbox. Selected. Switch button.
Now
1 of 2.
You've
Button.
got something that's called focused inbox.
Other inbox. Switch button. 2 of 2.
And something
button.
that's called other inbox. I'm going to just stick with the focused one for right now. I really don't know why you would switch to the other because there's nothing there.
Filter. Button.
There's a filter, which means you could filter your email. If you were looking for something in particular from someone, you could actually double tap on that.
Unread. Note to self. Test message for training. 12:54 p.m. This is a message we will use during our training session today.
So
Mike Mote, Manager of Accessibility and Workforce Development, IFB Solutions. Our vision is working. See more at www.ifbsolutions.org. Email Mote at ifbsolutions.org. Work phone 330.
Okay, I'm double tapping
Test
this
message
to
for
open
training.
it.
Back button.
I sent myself an email, so it told me note to self. So now I'm in my email that I have sent, or that and we're just going to pretend that this is an email that was sent to me by somebody. So immediately I'm on the back button that's on the top left, and I'm just going to swipe right and show you the options that are here.
More conversation actions. Button. Use voice. Button. Delete conversation. Button. Archive conversation. Button. Test message for training.
This is the subject.
Unread. Note to self. To you. 12:50. Message actions. Button.
And now I'm going to go to where it says message actions, because this is where we do a lot of the stuff that we would want to do to this message. So I'm going to double tap on this button here.
Alert. Mark as read. Button.
Mark is red.
Dismiss. Button. Dismiss.
Okay,
Button.
I've made sure I was on the left-hand side. I just want to walk through it with you. So we got mark is red.
Mark as read. Flag. Button.
Flag.
Reply. You.
Reply.
Button. Reply all. You.
Reply
Button.
all.
Forward. Button.
Forward.
Delete. Button.
Delete. So let's just say we want to reply.
Forward. Reply all. Reply. You. Button.
I can double tap.
Start type. Email body. Multi-line text field. Is editing. Mike Mote, Manager of Accessibility and Workforce Development.
I'm going to stop it from talking there. So basically what it says is you can start typing here and you're at the top of your message. If you need verification that you're at the top of the message, you can double tap on the screen.
Insertion point at end. Insertion point at start.
And you want to make sure you're at the insertion point as it starts. So you just double tap on the screen to make sure you know exactly where you are. And then I can type thanks. I'm using a braille display to type, but you could do it with your finger and, find the letters. Thanks very much. Or if you have a keyboard that goes with your phone, you can do that. So I just typed thanks very much. And now I'm ready to send this message. So I can do one of two things. I can swipe to the right.
Load full message. Button. Attach meeting. Attach file or photo. Button. Take photo using the phone camera. Rich text formatting. Change the input mode to voice. Send. Button.
There's the send button. But you could probably go left and find it a little
attach meeting.
quicker.
Load full message. Button. Email body. Subject. Regarding. Test email body.
So here's the
Multi-line text
email
field.
body.
Is editing. Thanks very much.
I just put thanks very much. Now let's swipe left and see if we find a send button faster.
Subject. Regarding. Test. Show CC and BCC. 2. Text. Mike Mote. 2. Mote at Solutions. Reply. Heading. Avatar for Mote at Close. Close.
No,
button.
we can't. So it is on the replies. It's only one. So we're going to go
Mote
to the
2.
right.
Mike 2.
Find
Show
the send
subject.
button.
Email. Load full message. Attach media. Attach file. Take photo using the phone. Rich text formatting. Change the input mode. Send. Button.
And we could type double tap the send button and it would send it. I want to go back over here though, and I'm going to show you a few other things that you can do.
Change the rich take attach meeting. Load full message. Button.
You can load the full message. So if it's a longer message, it's not going to show you the whole thing. You can load it and then read it on that screen if you wanted to.
Attach meeting. Button.
You could attach a meeting to this, meaning it would go to your calendar. You could fill in the meeting times and all of that sort of stuff. And we will show you the calendar in just a little bit. And I think you'll like that feature.
Attach file or photo. Button.
Attach file or photo.
Take photo using the phone camera. Button.
These are pretty self-explanatory. And I'm just swiping right through these.
Rich text formatting. Button.
Rich text formatting.
Change the input mode to voice. Button.
Change the input mode to voice.
Send. Button.
And I'm going to get to the send button. So in order to activate the send button, I just double tap.
Send. Back button.
And you heard a little doot, doot, doot that told you, now we're still in my message. We're still in my message. So from here, I'm going to actually show you some options with respect to
archive conversation. Button.
Forwarding a message. I think it's important to show you this part as well. And this will work very similar to what the compose message boxes will look like. So let's do this.
Test message for training.
We're going right here, guys.
Note to self. Do you? 12. Message actions. Button. This is a message we will use. Message actions. Button.
So we get back to the message actions. Double tap.
Alert. Mark is unread. Button. Flag. Button. Reply. Reply all. Forward. Button.
I want to show you this. I'm going to double tap on the forward option.
Start type 2. Text field. Is editing. Character mode. Insertion point at start.
So it drops me in a 2 field. This is a really neat way of doing this, and this works pretty much the same in the compose section as well. And again, I'll show that as a second or a separate task, but I do want to show you how this works. So the app automatically puts you in the 2 field. So let's say I want to send this message to Brent Burkholder, who is on this call. So Brent, if I wanted to do that, I would type the name B.
5 suggested contacts shown below to field. 5 suggested contacts shown below to field. 5 suggested contacts.
I am typing. We're getting audio feedback from VoiceOver saying that there's suggestions. So in order for me to see the suggestions, I can swipe to the right.
5 suggested contacts shown below to field. 2 suggested contacts shown below to field.
Now it updated because it sees the name Brent. So I have 2 people named Brent in my contacts.
Brent Burkholder. Burkholder at ifsolutions.org. Button.
I want
actions
Brent,
available.
and I see his avatar, and I see his name, and I see his email. So I'm going to double tap him.
Brent. Added Brent Burkholder. 2. Text field. Is editing.
VoiceOver indicates that we have added Brent. We're still in the to menu, however. But Brent has been added, and I can tell that if I swipe to the left one time.
Brent Burkholder.
It's got his name sitting there.
2. Text field. Is editing.
But basically what it wants to do is make sure you don't want to add anyone else. So it puts you back in the 2 field. And now let's say I want to type in someone else. Let's say I want to type in Shannon Satterfield or someone in our organization. So I'm just going to type Shannon, S-H-A.
5 suggested contacts shown below to field. 5 suggested contacts shown below. 5 suggested contacts shown below to 4 suggested contacts shown. Shannon Westwood. Westwood at ifsolutions.org.
We got several Shannons, so there's several names here.
Shannon Satterfield. Satterfield at ifsolutions.org.
I just found button. Shannon Satterfield.
Actions available.
I want to double tap his name.
Shannon. Added Shannon Satterfield. 2. Text field.
Voila. It's an easier way. You don't have to type the whole email if you don't know it. And a lot of times I don't know some of the emails, especially if I'm sending out something to somebody who's got a different email, such as the BSC store. Some of the folks, I don't know if they have an IFB or a BSC store domain or not. So it's really helpful in that particular situation. Now you can, if you choose to, you can go ahead and just type out the email if you know it and not worry about it. Now, I will tell you that VoiceOver will give you some noise and give you a little feedback saying, hey, suggestion, suggestion, suggestion. You'll have to ignore that and just finish typing your email. If your contact is not in there and you're sending to somebody totally different, then you do have to type the email. So I've got 2 people that's going to receive this message if I decide to send it, but I don't want to send it. I could just go through with it by swiping to the right, finding the send button, and going ahead and sending it. But I'm not going to do that.
Shannon, Brent, 2, Mote, forward, avatar, close, button.
I'm actually going to go find the cancel button. So I'm at the top of the screen. I'm going to go right.
Avatar, forward, Mote, 2, Brent Burkholder, Shannon Satter, 2, show CC, subject, email, load full, attach meeting, attach file, take photo, rich text, change the, send, button, Q, W, Q, send,
I only
button.
have the option to send. I don't have an option to cancel, so I can go to close.
Button. Draft saved.
And it's actually going to save my draft. I wish it wouldn't do that, but you can go into your draft and delete it. That is how we reply to a message and forward a message. Any questions so far from anybody who's participating? Okay.
Mike, what's the value of loading full message?
If it's a long message, it's going to load the whole thing. It's showing you a preview of it. And mine is so short, it read the whole thing. But if it's a longer message, it'll give you about a couple of lines, and then it'll stop. So if you hit load full message, it'll show you the whole message, the entire message. So if somebody sent you, a rather long email, then you could just double tap on the load full message, and it'll display the whole thing. Usually, though, you don't really need to because you've already read it and then you've decided to reply, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Back button.
All right, so we're going to go back.
Back button. Use voice. Button.
We're going to get out of
More
this.
back button. Back button.
And we're going to go to
Note to self. Test
where
message.
we're actually
unread. Note to self.
going
Menu.
to
Modem.com.
compose
Office 365.
a
Button.
message. So we're back at the top left of the screen, and we're going to go and find the compose option.
Inbox. Compose. Button.
There it is. So we double tap here.
Start to. Text field. Is editing.
And
Character
immediately
mode.
we're in the to field. And just like we did before, we have the ability to put in somebody's name. So again, I'll just use Brent as an example.
5 suggested contacts shown below to field.
Thank you,
5
Brent.
suggested
I'll pay you
contacts
later.
shown below to field.
Now I'm going to
2 suggested contacts shown below to field.
go right again.
Brent Burkholder. Burkholder at
Brent's name. I
solutions.org.
can add it.
Button. Brent. Added Brent Burkholder. 2. Text field. Is editing. Character
Okay.
mode.
So
Insertion
we're
point at
still
start.
in the to field, and we can swipe to the right.
Show CC and BCC. Button.
Right here it says show CC and BCC fields. So if you wanted it to do that, you would double tap, and then you could fill out those fields, and it would work exactly the same as the to field does. Now let's swipe to the right.
Subject. Text field.
All right, it says subject text field. Now you have to double tap in this in order to open the edit field. So we will do that.
Insertion point at end.
And it says insertion point at end. I'm going to just put test message here. Just type some text, and I'm going to swipe to the right.
Email body. Mike Mote. Manager of Accessibility and Workforce Development.
Now it says email body, and it's reading my signature because at this moment, that's the only thing that's in the email body, and it's going to read it. And I just stop it from talking, and then I can make sure I'm at the top,
Insertion point at start.
and then I can type, this is a test message from our training. And now I can swipe to the right now that I'm finished.
Attach meeting. Button.
I can attach a meeting to this. I won't.
Attach file or photo.
I
Button.
can attach a file.
Take photo using the phone cam. Rich text formatting. Button. Change the input mode to voice.
Same
Button.
stuff you saw in the reply.
Send. Button.
We'll hit send, and Brent, you'll get that
Send.
nice little message. And there it goes. Very simple and very
IT support. IT
things
100.
to be.
Mona Dodd. Ari. Host. Menu. Modemsif.com.
Now-
Office 3.
One thing I will warn you about is sometimes when you send a message, the voiceover sometimes does not put you exactly at the top of your email list. And so you have to swipe right in order to find what you're looking for. So we pretty well covered how to send, reply, and forward emails. Now we're going to talk about how to create a calendar request, because that process
Menu.
seems to be
Button.
very easy to do on the app. And I will tell you that if you do it on the Outlook app with your Exchange account, you will see it on your PC when you get back to your office. So that's another nice benefit. So we're going to go and tap on the bottom right-hand corner of my screen.
Tab bar. Calendar. Tab. 3. Calendar. Tab.
Calendar
3 of 3.
is the last tab on the bottom right. So you've got calendar. Let's swipe to the left.
Search. Tab. 2 of 3.
Search.
Selected. Mail. Tab. 1 of
And
3.
mail. And mail is selected by, of course, VoiceOver indicating that. So let's swipe back to the calendar.
Search. Calendar. Tab. 3 of 3.
Tap to the right. And now we're going to double tap this.
Selected. Calendar. Tab. 3 of 3.
Now, let's talk about, we will talk about viewing the calendar after we talk about creating a meeting request. So we're going to
Selected. Calendar. Tab. Selected. Calendar.
make sure
Tab.
we're on the
3 of
bottom
3.
because what we're going to look for is a new event. So we're going to swipe to the left.
Search. Tab. 2. Mail. Tab. New event. Button.
There it is. New
Actions
event.
available.
And we're going to double tap here.
New event. Title. Text field. Is editing. Title.
So
Character mode.
kind of normal as it would be, you can create an appointment or you can create a meeting. So we can do the title, which I'm just going to put test meeting.
Suggested title shown below text field. Suggested title shown below text field.
I've got a test meeting in there. Now you heard VoiceOver trying to help me out, but I don't need its help in this particular case. So I'm going to swipe to the right.
People.
And we have something called people.
All day. Switch button. People.
So if we double tap on people.
Selected. Required. Button.
Now we've got a required field.
Optional. Button.
And then we have an optional field.
Selected.
So
required. Button.
Required is selected by default, and we're going to swipe to the right.
Optional. Type a name or email address. Text field.
This is where you would add participants. So we're going
Insertion
to
point at end.
do it very similar to the way we did it before. I'm going to use Brent as my guinea pig again.
35 suggested contacts shown below people field. 10 suggested contacts. 2 suggested contacts shown below people field. 2 suggested contacts shown below people field.
So I've typed in Brent in the box, and now I'm going to swipe to the right.
1. Brent Burkholder. Burkholder at ifsolutions.org. 5 suggested contacts. 5 suggested contacts shown below people field. Brent Burkholder.
He is added. I see that he is added.
Optional. Button.
All right, so
Selected.
I got my
Done.
required
Button.
done, and I'm going to click. I swiped to the left because I'm only going to meet with Brent. Now, if I wanted to meet with a bunch of people, I would just keep adding names, just like I do in the to field.
Select optional.
Because
Brent
it
Burkholder.
puts me-
Type a name or email address. Text field.
It takes
Editing.
me back.
Character mode. Insertion point at start.
It takes me back to this spot right here, and I could type in another name, look it up, type in an email, whatever I wanted to do, and just keep on going. But I don't, so I'm going to swipe to the left and click done.
Brent Burkholder. Optional. Selected. Required. Done. Button.
So done.
People. Brent Burkholder.
All right, so it says people, Brent Burkholder. It tells me that he's there. I'm going to swipe to the right.
All day. Switch button. Off.
So that's an all-day meeting option. Of course, if we wanted it, we would double tap to turn it on. We don't, so we'll swipe to the right.
Time preferences. Button.
Time preferences. So this comes up because Brent also has a calendar.
Suggested time. Friday, November 19th, 2021, 8:39 a.m. Available. Everyone. 1 of 5. Button.
And now I've got suggested times to the right of this.
Suggested time. Friday, November 19th. Suggested time. Friday, November
there's
19th,
several
2021,
of them.
9:30 a.m. Available. Everyone. 3 of 5.
So I
Button.
can do it this way.
Suggested
or I can
time.
keep going to the
Friday.
right.
Suggested time. Start. Monday, November 15th, 1:30 p.m.
Or I could just keep, I can get past those suggestions. There was about 5 of them, and I swiped through them going right. And now I'm on the start box. I can double tap on this.
Select. You are not available. Brent Burkholder is not available.
I know that, but it's warning me, hey, you're not available, and Brent's not available because we're obviously in a meeting right now.
Done. Selected. Start time. Button.
So I've got a start time selected, and I'm going to swipe to the right.
End time. Button. Date. Today. You are not available. Brent Burkholder is not. Hour. 1 o'clock. You are not available. Brent Burkholder is not
So
available.
it's highlighting the 1 o'clock hour. Now, if I want to change the hour, I can swipe up with my finger. I'm just going to swipe up.
2 o'clock. You are not available. 3 o'clock. You are not available. 4 o'clock. Every attendee is available.
So I finally found the spot where every attendee was available at 4 o'clock. So let's just pretend that this is good for me. So I'm going to do that.
Minute. 30 minutes. Every attendee is available.
And it
Adjustable.
says 30 minutes. So I want to be at the top of the hour, so 4 o'clock. So I'm going to swipe down.
25 minutes. 20 minutes.
20.
You are not. 15 minutes. You are 10 minutes. You are 5 minutes. You are 0 minutes. You are not available. Brent Burkholder is available.
So it says I'm not available. So let's just make it happy.
5 minutes. You are not available. 10 minutes.
10.
You are not available. 15 minutes. 20 minutes. You are not available. 25. 30 minutes. Every attendee is available.
All right. So at 4:30, everybody's available. So I made it happy by doing that. But you can see how you select the time, the hour, and the minute by swiping up and down. So this is the start time. Now we got to go find the end time. And to do that, we swipe back to the left. And you probably heard VoiceOver say end time a moment ago.
Hour. Date. End time. Button.
We double tap that.
Date. Today. Every attendee is available. Hour. 5 o'clock. Every attendee is available. Adjustable.
And we just want to make this an hour meeting. So we're going to
Minute.
go over
30 minutes. Every attendee is available.
to
Adjustable.
that. Make sure that's okay. If it wasn't, we would make the adjustment. And now we're going to swipe to the right.
AM/PM. PM. Every attendee is
This
available.
is
Adjustable.
defaulted to PM because of the time of day we're sitting in. So if you needed to change that, you would simply swipe up or down and select either AM or PM. But since we're in PM, we don't have to make that change. Now we swipe to the right.
Attendee availabilities details. Button.
Don't need that.
Everyone is available between 4:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. Button.
Okay.
Everyone is available between 4:30 p.m.
Now
Attendee
we've got
availability.
this set
Back
up.
button. November. Done. Button. Start time. Button.
And
Done.
I can
Button.
hit done and it will send it. It will create the event. It will send a meeting notice to Brent. Brent, hopefully you don't care that you're about to get a meeting notice. You're just going to hit cancel. But I'm double tapping it.
People. Brent Burkholder.
I hit done on the time thing.
Type. Done. Button.
I can hit done on this now.
Invite sent.
And it says invite sent. So I had
Time
to
slot
hit
events. Monday. Expand. Button.
I had to hit done on the time, and then I had to hit done on the request, and it goes out. So that is how the calendar process works. And now, if you didn't add anybody or you were just setting your appointments, you wouldn't double tap on the people icon. You would just simply go through the start date, end date, and all that, and just set it up on your own calendar for your own personal appointment. But that is how the calendar works. Now, I'm going to stop here and see if anybody has any questions on the calendar process.
I don't.
Okay. So, and I want to point out, to go to the done buttons, you swipe back to the left in order to find those. Now I'm going to go back to the top of the screen, tap the
Calendar
top.
navigation menu. Button.
Now we're back in our calendar navigation, and I'm just going to swipe to the right and show you what we have here.
November. Heading.
So it's defaulted to the month of November because that's the month we're in.
Change view. Day view. Button.
I've got mine set to the day view instead of the month view. You could change it here if you wanted to.
Date. Today. Monday. November 15th. 14 events. Adjustable.
So I've got today, and I could adjust this by swiping up.
Tomorrow. Tuesday. November 16th. 5 events. Wednesday. November 17th. 4 events.
So let's look at tomorrow for me. Let's swipe back down with my finger.
Tomorrow. Tuesday. November 16th. 5 events.
Now I'm going to swipe to the right.
Expand. Button. Time slot events. Tuesday, November 16th. Guest services training from 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Calendar. Adjustable. Logo other. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m.
I'm going to stop it from talking. Okay, so that's the first event on my calendar for tomorrow. That's my first appointment. Now, if I want to see more, I'm going to swipe up with my finger.
Stand up from 8 a.m. to 8:15 a.m. Calendar. Logo other. 1 p.m., 2 p.m.
I'll stop it from talking. I'm going to swipe up again.
Maximus prerequisite requirements from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Microsoft Teams meeting. Calendar. Tuesday training. Sarah, Mike and Denji from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Calendar. Logo other. 1 p.m., 2 p.m.
So if I wanted to look at any of these, I could simply double tap. And since this one happens to be a Teams meeting, we're going to show you what happens if you're needing to meet on the phone and you have Teams installed. I'm going to double tap it.
Tuesday training. Sarah, Mike and Denji. Tuesday, November. Accepted.
I accepted it.
Edit RSVP. Button. Description. Caution. This email Teams meeting. Join. Button.
And if you see right there, I just swiped to the right to look through this calendar notice, and it says join. If I hit that join button, it would automatically load my Teams app and join me to the meeting on the go. I'm not 100% sure if it does that with Zoom, but I am going to test that and see. But I have a feeling it does. Okay. Yeah, I think it probably does.
It looks exactly the same as Zoom.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. So this is a very cool thing and a very effective and efficient way to check your calendar on the go. You can also ask Cortana to tell you your calendar if you use that. It will rattle it off. Something I will want to mention, and I'm not really sure I can demonstrate it, but I will tell you that if you get an email, most of us get our calendar notifications, our meeting requests, and our email. In Outlook, when you get one of those, there is an RSVP button that's attached with it. And so if you will double tap that button, then you will see all of your options to tentatively accept, decline, accept, whatever you need to do. And you simply double tap that and it moves it to the calendar. So very, very cool.
Back button.
Okay. Any
Back
questions about
date? Tomorrow. Change view. Day view. Calendar navigation menu. Button.
By the way, Mike, if you wanted, I sent you a calendar request if you want to test it.
Well, let's do that. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate that. So what I'm going to do is go back to my inbox. And the way I will do that is I'm going to tap on the bottom right-hand corner of my screen.
Tab bar. Selected. Jump to current event. Search. Tab. 2. Selected. Jump to selected. Jump to current event. Tab. 3 of 3. Calendar navigation menu. Button. Calendar November. Heading. Tab bar. Selected. Jump to current event. Search. Mail. New event. Tab bar. Mail. Tab.
I'm going to swipe to the left, get back to my mail. And here we are.
Search. Tab. Calendar. Tab. Calendar. Tab. 3 of 3.
It's still on the bottom of the screen, so I need to tap on the top left.
Menu. Mode sift. Inbox. Focused inbox. Other inbox. Filter. Button. Unread. Danny Kelly. Event invitation. Today. 4th. Event invitation. Today. 4:30 p.m. 30 m. Conflict. Test meeting.
All right, so I have a test meeting here. Now I don't even have to open this. I can just swipe right.
RSVP button.
And I
Actions
see the
available.
RSVP button. I see the RSVP button. And I'm going to double tap on it.
RSVP. Event invitation. Class. Today. 4:30 p. Time slot events. All day events. Monday. Propose new time. Email organizer. Switch button. Add message. Optional. Accept. Button.
And here's my accept button. And all I did was just swipe right on the screen until I found the accept button. And I'm going to hit accept.
Menu.
And Danny and I are going to get an odd reminder about a meeting this
Or later tonight, right at cocktail time.
Be like, why is Danny wanting to talk to me at that time? I should also point out that mine says 4:30. I actually believe it's 5:30, but since I'm in the central time zone, we're getting a little bit of a different time. But that's one thing that I will say. The calendar automatically adjusts to the time that you're in, and it takes that from your phone, it appears. That's the best educated guess I can give you on that. So if you're traveling and you're in California, for instance, or you're in Texas, or you're someplace besides the Eastern time zone, you'll probably get your information in that particular time zone. All right, want to continue on, but I want to stop and see if there's any questions. So I do want to go through some of the settings.
1:36 p.m. Status bar menu.
Talk about those a little bit because some of those are really certainly geared towards your individual tastes, but there's some that I think are helpful that I would recommend that you use. And some will be up to you, and they're pretty self-explanatory, but I just want to show them to you. So we're going to go back to the top left-hand corner of the screen where the menu option is. Now, I should point out that VoiceOver, sometimes if you swipe away from it,
inbox, menu, modeWillSIF.com, Office 365, button.
Sometimes you'll get more information about it, and sometimes you'll get less. So I know mine's been fairly consistent during this recording, but sometimes it won't give you that. But as long as you're at the very top left, you should be on your menu, and that's where you need to be. And so you're going to double tap this.
Selected. modeWillSIF.com. Unread messages.
Now we're going to swipe to the right and go and find settings.
Add an existing email. Add a new emailer. Play my emails. Help and feedback. Settings. Button.
Double tap settings.
Close. Button.
And now we got a close button that we landed on the top left, and we're just going to swipe to the right.
Settings. Heading. General. Heading. Help and feedback. Button. Set default mail app. Button.
Here is where you can set your default email app to Outlook.
Mail accounts. Heading. Office 365 modeWillSIF.com. Button.
Here's your default email accounts. This is mine. It says, you heard what it said. It's got my name, my username on there.
Add mail account. Button. Storage accounts. Heading. OneDrive modeWillSIF.com. Button.
It's telling me I've got a OneDrive account.
Add storage account. Button. Mail. Heading. Notifications. Button.
So we got notifications.
Default. Mode@solutions.org. Button. Signature. Mike Mote, Manager of Accessibility and Workforce Development. Human Resources IF.
Need to change my signature. So here I am on the signature. This is where you would double tap to change your signature. Generally speaking, the Outlook app will have its own generic signature sent from my Outlook app, sent from my iPhone. It will have something in there if you don't put something in there. But this is where you would double tap and basically type in what you wanted it to be. Okay.
Swipe options. Setup/archive. Button. Focused inbox. On.
Focused inbox.
Focused inbox. Help. Button.
Focused help.
Switch button. On. Badge count. Button. Organized by thread. Off.
Here is one that is very important. And Danny, I believe you ran into this the other day. Organized by thread. By default, it is on. But as you hear on mine, it is off. I would turn this off. And the reason I would turn this off is because if you don't, it's going to display your email messages in a conversational view. So when you tap on one email, if there's 40 emails in a conversation, and there can be, sometimes when we get carried away with sending stuff back and forth, there are a lot of messages in a thread. So we don't want to see all 40 of them. We just want to see 2 or 3 of them. So we just want to turn this off, and then that way each message shows up as its own individual message. There's several other reasons, but that's one of the main ones. And one of the others I'd say is if somebody's sending you attachments, it's going to be a whole lot easier to find those and read those. And deal with those in a way that you need to. And I should say something about attachments while we're on that subject. If someone sends you a Word doc or a PDF or a spreadsheet, I wouldn't recommend viewing it unless it's if it's a text document of some sort on your phone. I would wait till you got to your office. And the main reason is if you don't have a lot of experience using the various apps now, iOS has Excel for iOS, Word for iOS, all of those, and it does, and it works really well for people who really have experience. But if you're really going to do a lot of viewing and reading, it is just much easier for those of us who use JAWS and VoiceOver to do it on the PC. Now, the Word docs are okay. It will open in a viewer, and you can sort of swipe through it and read it and do what you want to, and when you're done, close it. I just wanted to kind of make that reference. Now on through the settings here, but do consider, I won't tell you have to, but do consider turning the thread thing off instead of on.
Switch button, off.
There's where you would turn it off right there. It says
Organized by thread, off.
It says organized by thread, off, and then you swipe to the right.
Switch button, off.
That's where you'd actually turn it off.
Show contact photos, on.
It says show contact photos. I mean, that's optional.
Show contact photo, switch button, on. Show contact, play my emails, button.
Play my emails.
Dictation, button. Contacts, heading. Default, mode@solutions.org. Sort by, first name, button.
Now here we are on the context section. It's pulling from my Exchange account, and we did figure out how to connect the two, and I sent some instructions on that, but normally it pulls from your email account in the Outlook app. The other context issue we were having was on the actual phone, but if you sync those things together, all of them should work like they're supposed to. But you'll see all of your contacts here for your email account based on what's chosen in here. In this case, it's my Exchange account, which is Mote at IFB Solutions.
Calendar, heading. Notifications, button.
Got notifications for the calendar.
Default, calendar, button. Weather, off, button. Week start, Sunday, button. Week numbers, off, button.
You see all of these. I'm just going through.
Workspace booking, on.
Sliding to the right.
Workspace booking, help, button. Switch button, on. Integrations and add-ins, heading. Siri shortcuts, set up quick actions via Siri shortcuts, button.
You can actually set up some quick actions with Siri shortcuts if you're good at that.
Interest in calendars, subscribe to your favorite events, button. Add-ins, connect your favorite apps and services, button. Preferences, heading. Appearance, button. Require passcode, off.
Require a passcode. I'd leave that off if you can.
Switch button, off. Open links with Safari, button.
Open links with Safari. I would recommend that you use that unless you're a Chrome user, and then use Google Chrome on your smartphone.
Open directions with Apple Maps, button. Privacy settings, button. More, heading. Tell your friends about Outlook, button.
And then
Microsoft apps, button. Microsoft apps.
And
button.
now we've reached the end of the settings window. But these are some things you can do. I do think the threads deal, I think that's the major one that I have seen so far using this app that seems to work better when turned off. So those are some things about settings. And going through the calendar settings reminded me of something that I wanted to mention. When you are setting up a meeting, if you continue to swipe right after you have set the day and time, if you want to have a Teams meeting, you can actually set it up to do that. You can double tap the Teams option and you can set it up that way if you need to, and it'll automatically generate a Teams meeting for you. Very user-friendly. I would say that, I mean, it's a little tricky at first. And it's hard to get used to because the native mail app is so much different. I mean, it's just simpler, and it's just a simpler layout, but that doesn't mean Outlook can not work. It just takes some getting used to. We all had to get used to the mail app, and Outlook is kind of the same thing. So I've kind of covered a lot in 40 something minutes. I'm going to kind of stop here and see if there's any questions that you guys have or anything you'd like for me to review or go over again with respect to Outlook.
Mike, I know you said try to not view too many attachments on your phone, but I do it all the time. And
I know you do.
I'm just trying to having trouble finding when I open an email with an attachment, where the attachment is. Used to be at the bottom, right, in the old app.
Yeah, and I think I believe, Danny, it may be in the same place. And I know in the old Mail app, it is on the right-hand side too, where you have to actually tap to download it and then open it. So I'm thinking Outlook does some of the same stuff. It's kind of similar. But basically you find the name of the attachment, and I've seen this in previous emails that I've had where you can go and actually, let me see if I find one real quick. 1 second.
Close button.
This is a good question.
Unread.
You know what?
Test.
I just found it right next to what button were we using? Message actions.
Form 5.
Yes.
IT support.
There was a right swipe for
Why I
message
did.
actions.
Zachariah Rieger. Shaniqua Campbell. IFB Solutions and High Importance. Joe Shanley. Mona Dodd. IFB Beat Newsletter Email. 707.
One here.
IFB Beat Newsletter Email.
So let's
Mona
go
Dodd.
right.
To all message actions. Button. IFB Beat _ November 15th Word doc. Version. DOCX
Yep, there it
42
is.
KB.
And you swipe to the right, or you get on that and you double tap.
Loading. Close button.
And then
IFB Beat _ November. Docs 22 kilobytes. Edit. Share. Button. IFB Beat November 15th edition.
and now we're actually in the viewer, the Microsoft Word viewer.
News to know. Rejoining
now we
civilian
can
life is
just-
hard, but employers can help make it easier.
So we can swipe to the right and read that message. And then of course, when we're done, we tap to the top
Close button.
and hit close.
Back button.
And I think again, Danny, for Word docs and PDFs, they're, fine. Excel spreadsheets you've probably seen by now.
Oh yeah,
really
disaster.
tough.
Right.
Dude, and it's really not designed, I guess, for a voiceover user. I mean, some people would probably say I'm wrong, but it's tough. It's just not, because you can't really see what you're doing. You're going in a up, down. It's just not, it's hard to do. You got to be real patient, and I'm not, especially if I can do it on my PC a little easier. But the Word docs do work really well.
Perfect.
If you have any additional questions, and if we learn anything new that I want to share with you all, because things do change, you have a lot of factors with the way things work with iOS, as we all know. First of all, it's the version of iOS that can break accessibility, and especially the newer versions when they first come out. We're on iOS 15.1, and surprisingly, we haven't had any major issues. If you have anything that pops up, it could be that Outlook makes a change or iOS. So there's two factors to bear in mind there. But if you have anything that you're struggling with, let me know. And if there's something that we find that works really, really well and we want to share it with you, we'll certainly pass that along too, because I want to make sure everybody gets the most out of this that you can. It's a helpful companion. It's not the easiest thing we've ever done. It, certainly was easier with the Mail app and the Calendar app, although I do find the Calendar to be a little bit better actually than the one that's on the native calendar thing that you use with the iPhone. I think this one's set up very, very well. But if you have one more,
I have one more question for you.
Absolutely.
Unless Brent has one, I don't want to.
I think Brent fell asleep. I'm not sure.
No, go ahead, Danny.
Go ahead, Danny.
Notifications. So I think I may have accidentally somewhere along the way turned off all notifications because I didn't want to be notified of every 200 emails that come in on my phone and my watch and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to feel/hear calendar notifications. And whether you know this today or not, I'd love to understand how to turn on calendar notifications so I get that reminder, but leave off emails when they come in.
Okay. So one way you can do that is in your settings, you can turn off notifications for your Outlook stuff and leave them on for the calendar stuff with your main calendar, because I've got it set up. We've got it set up now where both your calendar is working simultaneously with the iPhone's calendar with our Exchange account. So you could conceivably, and I agree with you, Danny. It's crazy. I'm trying to figure out the best way to silence those too. But I think one way you can do that is to go in and just turn your mail notifications off, and keep those quiet, and still get your calendar notifications. I will verify that and make sure that that's correct. But I think that's one way you'd want to do it, just to tell it, okay, what do you want to be told about? And I believe you will do that in your accounts, in your settings. You'll go in there and just turn it off. What mine is doing now, and a lot of it's because I'm testing accessibility and just trying to make sure that it's going to notify me and I don't get caught not knowing something's going on, is I've got both my calendar for Outlook and regular iPhone telling me when I have meetings. So it goes off twice. But you only need one. So I'm going to have to figure out which one I want to use. And if you're in a meeting, I'll tell you, one of my favorite things to use on the iPhone is the do not disturb function. That'll silence everything until you're done. And then when you turn it back on, turn it back off rather, everything pops up that you missed. So if you need it to be quiet in certain areas. And I'll tell you something else. With respect to the email notifications, it tends to read them if you're not by your phone, and it'll read a good portion of your email out loud before you ever get to it to shut it up. So that's another reason why you want to turn that off if you can. And I'll go, and Danny, I will verify that you can do that, but I'm 99% sure that that's how it would work. You do it in your settings.
Yeah, and I think I figured it out. I had notifications on, but I had sounds off. So I turned sounds on, and we'll see if that works when I get a calendar.
Yeah, I think you'll get the that sound. And I should point out that you're getting all the Outlook has the same sounds on both the computer and the phone. So, of course, it is Microsoft, so that's why. But anyway, hope you guys got something out of this. I hope I was able to answer some questions and just kind of walk you through some of the basics of Outlook. There's a lot to this program, as we all know. There's more and more stuff that they're adding to the desktop app in addition to the smartphone app, but it's easy to use. A blind person can definitely do it. VoiceOver is very good with it. There was a time it was not, so I'm thankful that they've made the adjustments necessary that we can do what we need to do. Any additional comments, thoughts, questions? Brent, anything?
No, I don't think so. I took particular interest, obviously, in the thread thing you were talking about in the settings. So that's the first thing I'm going to do when we get off this call.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you guys for joining live, and I want to thank everybody for taking an opportunity to listen to this in the on-demand, if you will, training. And we certainly want to welcome any questions, comments, feedback that you have. You can send those to me at mmote, that's MMOTE, at ifbsolutions.org. We're happy to answer any questions that you have. We will have this training archived for a while, so feel free to utilize it. You can share it with anyone you choose. Just make sure that you realize that it is sort of time sensitive because things can change. So if something doesn't work exactly right, it's probably because they've made an adjustment. But we appreciate you being part of it, and we thank you for taking a few minutes to listen to what we had to say, and hope it's helpful to you.
For more great content, we at Assistive Technology Hot Corner invite you to like, subscribe, and share. This is your co-host, Israel speaking. We'll catch you on the next one.